All right, I pressed the go button, so now I'm live, whether I like it or not. Hey everybody, John Lavenia here. I wanted to do a little poolside chat today, but the weather is not conducive. So just imagining I'm out on my bike right now, just wear the t-shirt and hopefully get on the bike tomorrow. But I wanted to share something with you, which was a little reminder that I got because I was talking to a client, somebody who I've known for a while, in fact, and they were saying, John, you used to talk about this one thing, you used to teach this one thing called, thinking from the end, something like that. I was like, yeah, that's it, thinking from the end. And it was a nice reminder for me to hear this from someone whose life it had obviously had an effect, right? This person had gotten some benefit from this. So I want to share this with y'all right now. And this is a way, kind of like, I guess, what some people would call a mind hack. That's, I guess, a buzzword these days, but a way to trick yourself into success, right? Because I know that there are a lot of people, yourself perhaps, you've got goals, hopefully you do, and you'd like to reach those goals. And a lot of times we get encumbered by the circumstances and the situations around us. We allow what's around us in our environment, which isn't always pleasing, right? We've all got things, problems to overcome, difficulties to deal with, right? That's not any different once you've already become successful. You still get to solve problems, of course, but actually that may not be obvious to some of our viewers here, right? If life is just a dream because of what you saw on the interwebs and social media. Well, anyway, everybody goes to the bathroom. Everybody has to feed the body, right? We're all still dealing with this whole human condition, but this is something that you can do right now to put yourself way ahead of people who just, kind of read the books about, personal development and success and goal setting and goal achievement. And they go to the motivational seminars and they're always looking at success as some future possibility. And it's called Thinking from the End. I got this maybe 25 years ago from, I think the author was Neville. Any of you who've ever read Neville. I don't know if anybody of you have ever read Neville. Go ahead and put it in the comments. But this guy was into a bunch of philosophy kind of stuff and also mysticism and this kind of thing. But he said the solution is to think from the end. So I want you to think about it like this: if your goal is some future possibility that you hope to reach at some point, and you're going to do your best, right, to think about getting the work done and getting to that goal, then you're still in the position of, I'm right here in my current circumstances, which is not the achievement of the goal. It's the hoping to have the goal, and hopefully, for your sake, you're doing some actions necessary to do that. But still, there's so many other inputs from the current environment that cause us to think like, well, it'll be nice then. Right? Because right now it isn't. Right now I've got these problems to handle. But once those problems are solved, once those goals are reached, then it will be a good time. Right? I will really, have made my mark or whatever. Paul's asking, Goddard? Yes. Neville Goddard. You got it. So a lot of people who even read Neville don't even know his last name. But yeah, Paul, that was Neville Goddard. He wrote Awakened Imagination and a few other titles. I should probably revisit them. It's been some years. But anyway. So the difference here is to think from the end. Okay, so don't just think of the end. What a lot of motivational speakers will tell you is to think of the end, right? Think of the goal that you want to have. Think about, and of course, specifically what you want, right? Don't be vague about that. That's all valid. That's all good. We can get that from, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, and all the great texts on the subject, right? So you certainly have to think of the end and know what that end is, that end result that we want. But then to go past it, here's the little hack, is to think from the end. What does that mean? That means that, well, great, now that I've accomplished that, whatever that specific accomplishment is, right, that end, the reason why we're doing all this, to what end are we doing this? Well, to this end, so we have this result. Now that I've accomplished that result, what are the little details, right? How will I, and here's a big one, how will I interact with the people around me, whether we're talking about, spouse, children, coworkers. Maybe you've got different coworkers at that point, right? Maybe you're somebody looking to make a transition out of a certain unpleasing situation where you're working but not fulfilled in that work, and you want to get into this other situation. Well, what would it be like now that you're in that other situation? How do other people occur to you, and how do you occur to other people now that you've already accomplished whatever that ideal is? Earl Nightingale said, "Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal." Okay, so what we're looking to do is hit the fast forward button, right? So the progressive realization. Well, let's go to the end of that movie, and let's see what the triumphant conclusion is. And how does that feel now that we've experienced the triumphant conclusion? And so part of it is going to be the relationships that we have and how we communicate, how we occur in other people's lives. The other part of it is going to be, what are our next goals? What's next? Now that I've accomplished this, what am I thinking on? What new goal am I setting? But by the way, this isn't necessarily easy, right? So what we're looking to do is disregard current circumstances, pleasing or not. Okay, think about the circumstances that will be ours once we've accomplished whatever our objective is, and start to actually feel the feelings as if that's already done, and how it's going to occur in the lives of others who we're already interacting with, in many cases, right? Like it's not like I'm going to change my entire circle of influence because now I accomplished another goal. Right, I'm still going to be married to Shannon. I'm still going to have my daughter Trinity. I still have lots of people who I work with and interact, throughout the week, online and off. Right. So how am I going to occur in that circle of influence, in that space, now that I've accomplished this next goal? Right. So that's the thing. And what am I thinking on now? What's the next accomplishment? And you know what? For people who have a tendency to think negative, right? Like I grew up in a lot of negativity, right? In fact, I don't know anybody who is immune from that, right? Negative inputs are free. You can get them all day long. Just turn on the news, right? So if you have a tendency to think, well, it's going to be nice to reach this goal, and certainly we'll have some new problems once that goal is reached. Let's say, for example, you got an income goal of making twice as much money as you're making now. What new problems will you have? You like to think negative, right? Okay, great. How much more taxes will you pay? And if you got some tax advantages, let's triple the number then. Let's figure out like what else will befall you because you actually reached the goal, and start thinking about how to solve those problems which are further out ahead now that you've already got the goal. See, this is thinking from the end, right? So taxes is an easy one for me to come up with because what did Ben Franklin say? There are two things certain in life: death and taxes, right? So yeah, you become more successful. I remember at one point I had paid something like 3 times the average annual income in like one quarterly tax statement or something. And I was thinking, what a blessing that I get to have these problems, right? So yeah, those are my thoughts for you today. Think from the end. Don't just think of the end. Think from the end. And I see Claude. Hey, Claude. I see you guys here. Welcome. So glad to see you guys. Scott, good to see you guys. Hope you're getting some value out of this. We're just hitting fast forward on the tape. That's all we're doing. We're hitting fast forward, and we're saying, great, now that we got that goal, how do I occur in the world? How does the world occur to me, right? So we're going to do a little bit of disregard on current circumstances, including and especially those things which seem counter to our intention. We're going to be very intentional here, to the extent that we can actually start to feel the feelings as if we had already accomplished the goal that we've been thinking of. Now we're thinking from that position. We're just switching one word. We're switching the word think of the end to think from the end. So don't think about your goal. Think from your goal. From that position, we make decisions, we operate, we occur in life. Right? And we're now thinking on what would be my next goals. Which, by the way, there's a little bonus training for you here. I've reached goals and then not set new ones and fallen on my face. Real dangerous spot to be in. Right? So that's a new problem. The new problem is you have no goal. You got to fix that problem. Let's fix it in advance. Let's fix it now. Right? I mean, after all, if we're expecting to reach these goals, we're going to have a new problem. Not just a tax thing, but now I got to go set another goal. Otherwise, what the hell am I doing here? What's my purpose, right? Yeah, attainment is an interesting trap. You know, complacency. Ooh, it's bad stuff. And I've had plenty of people tell me, don't Don't get civilized on this, right? Remember that movie Rocky? What was it, Rocky 2 or 3, where Mickey, the old trainer, said to Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, he said, the worst thing that could ever happen to a boxer, Rock, you got civilized. Right? Because now he's got money, right? First world problems, right? New problems, right? The water faucet broke, or, his tax bill, or, whatever it happens to be. He doesn't like the color of the car that that somebody picked out for him or whatever. So yeah, these are new problems. He's not hungry anymore. I think that was the movie where they had Eye of the Tiger, that Eye of the Tiger song, right? So you got to keep the fire on, stay hungry. So anyway, I'm rambling. Thanks for joining me in my office here today. Hope you got some value out of this. If you feel like somebody else could use this message, somebody who's like there but like really wants to be there, go ahead and feel free to share. And I will be back here with you, maybe poolside, within the next day or so. Actually, I think it's going to rain here in Phoenix again tomorrow, so I'll just deal with that. That's just my life. I got to deal with this rain in the desert. Actually, I think we had record rainfall this year for like the last 100 years. So wet winter. We'll take it. So much for the drought. Anyway, we'll see you guys again soon. Thanks, Craig. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I will see you guys on the flip side. Bye for now.